From the evil hotel room 1408, it's the IGN Digigods. Now, please welcome two men who were not even invited to the celebration, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
$14.08 and the celebration. Bob?
You don't want to know.
I do.
Really?
Who sent it? Yeah.
Honestly? Okay. Yasmin Ahmed Abdi Jama.
That's Yassine.
Or Bob Johnson.
No, it's Yassine. Yassine, who actually is manages the Facebook page, and
which you never go on.
Which I've been busy, man.
I'm calling you out. You never go on it.
I know. I go on in spurts, and I'll be on this week. I was on this last week. I was on.
Okay.
And it's been transitioned into the new Facebook group thing. That
I don't know what you know. What there's stuff going on with Facebook. I just want to fall asleep, wake up in 6 months, and whatever Facebook is going to become, wake me up then.
Yeah, but it's always going to be in flux. It's always going to be becoming something different because it's got to make money somehow.
I have to say that there's something
we don't pay. Nobody pays to be on Facebook, so they're making money by doing other things that are nefarious and subversive.
Well, that's the thing. I feel that with a couple more missteps, Facebook will have this evil empire sort of taint to it. I really do. I feel like there's privacy concerns. In fact, there was a guy who created this little widget where the widget says, normally when you're on Facebook and you log off, right? You presumably log off. You are no longer on Facebook. Turns out that when you log off of Facebook, you're not actually logged off. And so this guy created this funny little widget where when you're on Facebook, instead of saying log off, it says log off, parentheses, not really. Because it turns out that you're really not logging off. Facebook is just changing your status to like not
hanging
around, not currently here, whatever. But you're still logged on. There really is no way to log off. Yes, and now that's becoming a big deal too.
Which is weird because I know people who have passed on who still have Facebook pages. So technically Facebook could be immortality. Right?
Everybody is basically immortal now thanks to the internet.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody's when you pass away, when you die, your blogs, your YouTube videos
forever.
Always be there forever. That's sad.
It's terrifying. And speaking of evil empire, I was finally able to amputate a set of the Star Wars Blu-rays out of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but wait, I bought one.
I was able to.
I bought one.
I know you did.
Because I knew you wouldn't be able to get two from the studio.
Well, there it is.
And by the way, they're great.
And I should say, right off the top, we have a giveaway.
What?
Yes, we do. We are giving away, and it's a DVD we don't have yet, but they said, go ahead, announce the giveaway right now. So that's it. It's a DVD that gets released on October. I don't even know what accent that is. On October 18th, and it is Craig Ferguson. Does this need to be said?
Now, Craig Ferguson took over for Tom Snyder.
Yes.
On the Late Late Show.
Yes.
By the way, Tom Snyder, a show that I was a producer for a very short time. And Craig got off to a bit of a shaky start. But I have to say that instead of trying to emulate Letterman and Leno and Conan and all the other ones, he decided to go his own way. And it was kind of controversial at the time when he decided to make his monologue not topical jokes, but his whole monologue every day would be this off-the-cuff conversation about what he did that day.
Yeah.
That was his monologue. That was Craig Ferguson's monologue.
I'm fine with that.
And people started to love it.
Yeah. He also doesn't have a house band or anything.
He does not have a house band.
Yeah.
And, I'm still kind of lukewarm on him. I mean, I know a couple of the people over there. They're great guys. But, he's kind of carved out a niche for himself, and I respect that.
I do, too. And I like him a lot more as an actor in movies.
You do not.
Anyway, this was shot at the Polk Theater.
You're making that up.
No, I do. I like him in movies.
Can you name 2 movies he's been in? No, you can't.
That marijuana thing that he did with Brenda Blethyn, with the title of which I can't remember, but he was hilarious.
Okay, that's half. Name another one. Exactly.
Okay. Anyway, he filmed this at the Polk Theater in Nashville, and look, we haven't seen it, so but we're giving 2 of them away. So I would say, we're just going to randomly pick the winner. You just send us emails. And
how many do we have to give away?
2.
We have 2.
Only 2. So if you want, if you're looking forward to this October 18th Craig Ferguson DVD, Craig Ferguson, Does This Need to Be Said? From Comedy Central Home Entertainment and Paramount Home Entertainment, go ahead and send us an email to gods@digigods.com. Put Ferguson in the subject. That's Ferguson. Don't spell it weird or anything because it's going to get filtered. Ferguson, Ferguson. Just put Ferguson. And we will randomly pick 2 people. Make sure it gets to us before October 1st. As long as it's time-stamped before October 1st, we'll be able to get... You're messing your hair up all weird and stuff.
Well, wait, because you're talking.
I know, and no one's going to see you.
No one's going to see me scratch my own head and mess up my hair. So I'm doing that.
All right, fine.
Someday, if we're on Stupid for Movies, I never did that, did I?
No, you didn't.
Because
you were actually very presentable.
Thank you.
Surprisingly photogenic.
Thank you. Although I have to say, I've gained a little bit of weight since the show ended.
Have you really?
And I think the reason I have is because, A, I've stopped working out. And also, I cook for myself a lot more now. And instead of cooking nice things for myself that are healthy will make me live longer, I cook a bunch of crap.
By the way, speaking of cooking, not that this matters to anybody, I did a chicken-crusted za'atar dish the other day. Did I tell you about this?
You told me after the show last week that you were considering this dish because this dish had pankow breadcrumbs, and you love pankow breadcrumbs.
I do. Anyway, basically, I combined the breadcrumbs and some za'atar. Za'atar is a Middle Eastern spice. It's like a mixture of sesame seeds and a bunch of other things. It's great. You can get it very inexpensively, any Middle Eastern market. So you get the za'atar. It's really very tangy, very zesty. And mixed the za'atar with the breadcrumbs and egg, and kind of got the chicken fillets going in it, and baked them for about a half an hour. Got them really nice. That was good. But even better was when it was a day old. I chopped it all up. And
fed it to your dogs.
And sautéed the stuff that I had za'atared and baked and crusted the previous day. I sautéed it in a creamy mustard sauce.
Now, how'd you make the creamy mustard sauce?
With a mustard that actually no longer exists because the place where I bought it in Paris is now out of business. Ooh. But it's a burgundy cream mustard. See, you love that, right?
Wait. So was it a burgundy? This has so much.
Normandy cream. So, a Normandy cream mustard.
Wait, so what? Is there a cream from Is it Normandy cream?
Normandy cream. It's basically this place that used to exist in Paris sold a lot of exotic mustards, and there was like cognac mustard, and there's like red raspberry mustard, and honey mustard, and all this kind of stuff. This was, like honey mustard is honey and mustard. This is Normandy cream, which is a very particular kind of sweet cream that you get in France. And it was Normandy cream base with mustard.
So
pretty great. So I made a mustard sauce out of that. I basically put that mustard in along with half and half and a little bit of honey and then some seasoning, some sea salt and so forth. And it was freaking unbelievable.
Wow.
It was like maybe the best meal I've ever had in my entire life, bar none. It was incredible.
Bar none.
Wow. Bar none.
Impressive.
All right, this is a DVD show, so we should get talking about some DVDs. You know what I'm going to talk about first, Mark?
This is huge, Wade.
This is gargantuan. This is huge.
Now, by the way, we talked about this when it was announced.
Yes, we did.
A few months ago.
This is, I have looked at absolutely everything on this set. I have plumbed this thing to no end. And this is the limited edition 50th anniversary Ben-Hur freaking Blu-ray. Emphasis on freaking, with your first film to win 11 Academy Awards, which they now give out like chocolate. 2 films in the last decade have gotten them. Anyway, and this is the one that they sent me as a limited edition, number 3,257 of 125,000. Comes in a gigantic fancy package, as a lot of these do. In fact, the new 40th anniversary Willy Wonka just came in today. Have not watched it yet.
What?
We'll watch it together over the weekend.
Funky Wade.
How about that?
No, you're going to give it to me.
Am I?
Wait a second. When was that even announced?
A while ago.
Really?
Yes.
Willy Wonka. Better look that up.
Let me tell you about the Ben-Hur, and we got a gargantuan amount of television to go through today. So, hold on tight because we got to spend a little bit of time on Ben-Hur here. This Ben-Hur is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It comes in one of those giant cases that they always put all the giant box sets in around holiday time, which is sort of like it's like a double wide. It's at least twice as wide as a DVD and at least twice as thick, and so it basically is almost the size of a dictionary. It is. This is absolutely spectacular. Apart from the fact that you have the movie and 6 hours of special features in just stunning transfer. And I mean, as a Blu-ray, this may be. I got to give it a little bit of thought, but this may be the best looking Blu-ray on the market. I got to tell you, it's really phenomenal. This movie was shot in 65 millimeter, obviously projected in 70, and this is just breathtaking. Here's what else you get here. Now, the movie itself is on 2 discs, and then all the special features are on a 3rd disc, which includes. I mean, the movie, look, hey, it won 11 Academy Awards very deservedly. It's Ben-Hur, it's Charlton Heston. I don't need to say anything else. One of the greatest films ever made. But here's what else you get on here. You are going to love this. You get a new documentary, Charlton Heston and Ben-Hur, A Personal Journey, which is all put together courtesy of the Heston family, all personal family archive stuff. You also get the 1925 Ben-Hur, on which people died. You know that. You're aware of that. People were trampled to death on the original silent film in 1925. That's included here, along with a new Carl Davis score. And the 2005 documentary Ben-Hur, The Epic That Changed Cinema, along with the 1994 documentary Ben-Hur, The Making of an Epic, Ben-Hur, A Journey Through Pictures, which is an audiovisual kind of a slideshow type thing with all kinds of fun stuff. You get screen tests, which are fascinating, newsreels, and even footage from the 1960 Academy Awards. Now, all of this still doesn't get to the meat of this thing, which is the stuff that's not on the DVD or on the Blu-ray. Sorry, you get a booklet in here, which is kind of it's sort of a throw-in. It's a lot of lovely little photographs and things and little reproductions from the original press book in this little 64-page mini coffee table thing. But here's what makes this whole thing absolutely worthwhile: Charlton Heston, The Ben-Hur Diaries. Now, Mark, I have not shown this to you. I want you to be impressed as I pull this out.
Oh, I want you to be impressed while I pull this out, Wade.
Yep.
Can you please say that again?
I will. I want you to be impressed. Hold on while I whip this out. Here, I'm pulling it out. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling it out.
I'm not going to vamp while you do that. You are actually rummaging through the box to pull something out.
Well, it takes time to pull out something this big. Okay, it's like an episode of Three's Company. Here, Mark.
Wow.
Look at this. This is Charlton Heston. This is a recreation of Charlton Heston's actual journal from the making of this thing.
Do you think if Charlton Heston knew that 50 years later,
No.
his rambling, conservative, gun-loving thoughts would wind up in a journal?
Look, it's an actual recreation of the journal. Like, complete with the stuff that he taped in. They even recreated the little tickets and things that he taped in. And they even recreated the yellowing tape on this stuff.
So he typed
his journal, yes.
The high spot of the day for me was Frey arriving at the commissary in the regalia of a Roman centurion and inquiring brightly, "Need any extras?" I also managed to solo in the chariot today with the prospect of working alone in it from here on out.
Isn't that amazing?
Willie,
yes.
Willie, the director. Willie seems pleased with the prospect of being able to shoot more stuff without doubling than he anticipated. Tonight was predictable but pleasant.
There's another page in there
That's cool.
where he talks about the hardest day of shooting, which was actually just a dialogue scene, not even action.
Look, actually, right. The tape is
Isn't that
actually
great?
yellowed.
Isn't that? It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
It is. That's pretty damn cool.
And I read this thing cover to cover. It is fascinating. He at one point he says William Wyler, because he talks about Wyler just drilling them on this scene over and over, and how he had to continue to try to remember his enthusiasm from the earlier takes just to sustain his energy in the later takes. And he says, W.W. is undoubtedly the most difficult director I have ever worked for, and unquestionably the best. How great is that?
Ooh.
Hey, man, it rocks. So, I mean, Ben-Hur, if you're not buying this for yourself, buy it for Dad, buy it for Mom, buy it for everybody. It's such a great movie. And yes, it's got, all the heavy, Christian overtones. It's a story of the Christ is, of course, the subtitle on it. But you do not need to be Christian to appreciate this movie. It is just a great freaking epic. It's a great freaking epic.
I'm on board. It's great. They did a great job putting it together.
They did a fabulous job. So
they really did.
I'm going to...
It's actually a great gift for the the dad and your family, for the uncle, for the dad. If you don't dig
for
it,
your little sister
who
might have leprosy,
kid sister.
Just show it to her and just say, when you and Mom are lepers and living in a cave, I'm going to be just like Judah Ben-Hur, and I'm going to come visit you.
No, here's what we should do. At Christmas time or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever, give your dad the Selena Gomez concert DVD and give your 8-year-old sister Ben-Hur.
You know what else?
See how hard she cries.
That's right. And you know what else you should give? You should give your mom at Christmas time. And I'm being a little snarky here, but I'm going to be kind of serious here. We have this is the only documentary we're talking about this week, and it's not really a documentary. It's it is kind of a documentary. But in all seriousness, it's good that this is out there because this is an issue for a lot of people when their moms get to be that age. This is called Managing Menopause Naturally: What Every Woman Needs to Know. And this is from a label called True Mind. We're going to be talking about more of their titles going forward. They're coming out with a lot of stuff that's all kind of part of the holistic and self-help and medicinal stuff, which is one of the fastest growing fields on DVD. DVD is a retracting market, as we all know. However, nobody is yet streaming exercise and self-help videos. It's still a strong growth market on DVD. So we're going to see more and more of this stuff coming out. And this is actually really cool. A lot of great experts on here. A lot of people who are highly respected. This is not a bunch of ringers. Andrew Weil, who publishes a lot of books on this stuff. Dr. Erica Schwartz, Mark Blumenthal. This is really cool. So look, everybody at a certain point, your mom's going to get to this point, and she's going to hit the wall. And this is great because a lot of people just don't. It's a subject they're afraid to talk about. So, bravo! This is a good DVD. Good DVD for people who are in that situation.
Now, this Willy Wonka thing, I don't think comes out until October. Correct. Something.
Yes, it's a few weeks.
I'm actually going to order right now.
Well, then you do that.
Because you're not going to give me your copy, are you?
You know what? Probably not, but.
Well, if you're not going to give me your copy, I'm going to actually order it right now on this show.
Let's talk about Star Wars.
We talked about Star Wars.
I know we did.
We talked about it last week. I said I loved it.
I know, but I didn't get to talk about it. And no is lame.
It's the lamest of all time.
What was he thinking?
He wants to bookend the no from the
I don't give a damn.
Third one,
what was he
the
thinking?
Sixth one, whatever it's called.
What was he thinking?
You know what? He can't, because here's the thing. I think he thinks that this is the definitive version. This is the last one people will purchase physically. They will go and they will have this in the library. It's the last one.
No,
from
that's
now on
not
it's
true.
Streaming.
Because when he dies, then somebody who with a little bit more common sense will release the films as they were originally made without all of the extra dicking around. And
who has a print of Star Wars from 1977?
He does. Lucas does.
He's not going to. He probably has it written in his will to burn it.
Yeah, you know what? Kubrick wanted to do that with Fear and Desire, and we saw that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. I'm sorry. You do not get to enforce your will after you're dead to that degree. Sorry, George Lucas. You are not going to change history, jerk. Anyway,
because the Blu-rays here are the special edition Blu-rays from.
And I'll tell you right now. And yes, the transfer is fabulous. But somebody out there is taking these Blu-rays right now, and they are re-editing this stuff, and they are making themselves an original Star Wars. That's what they're doing, and bravo! Get that thing out there, pirate the hell out of it, and let us start downloading it. But yeah, no. Otherwise, I think there's some interesting stuff on here. I was actually much more intrigued by the bonus disc stuff, the original 1977, the making of Star Wars, which is fun, and the Empire Strikes Back special effects, and all those little featurettes. Much more interesting to me, actually. The deleted scenes, extended scenes, and interviews, and all that kind of junk didn't really, That didn't get me going. But along the same vein, we also have another Star Wars title this week, Mark.
Oh, great.
You'd love this, don't you?
I do not love the Lego Star Wars series. I just don't. I mean, how much of that do you need? I understand you're trying to indoctrinate young kids into Star Wars so that the movies can make money forever, but make it stop.
Whatever happened to when Legos were just toys? I don't understand. Anyway, yes, this is a Blu-ray DVD combo of the Lego Star Wars series, The Padawan Menace. And it's just straight up ridiculous. The cover has a Lego Yoda with, I don't know, is that a Lego Han Solo that we've got as a toy there? There's like a little Han Solo-y looking thing.
Yeah, there's a little Yoda, a little Han. You mean it comes with an actual?
There's a little actual toy figurine.
It's a young Han Solo. I don't know what makes him young. All I know is that he has claws for hands because it's Legos. Somehow Han Solo has claws for hands.
This is what our society has come to. It's just so bizarre. It's just weird.
Well,
Anyway.
well, they've been doing that for a long time.
I know they have, but the plot is silly. It's even the way they write the description. Mark, listen to this. This is this is just insane. A routine Jedi Academy field trip. What is this? Jason of Star Command? Is turned into a rip-roaring comic adventure. Comic? In Lego Star Wars The Padawan Menace, tour guide Master Yoda leads a group of rambunctious Jedi younglings through Senate chambers. Younglings? What the... none of this fits into the Star Wars universe very well, by the way.
It's not supposed to. It's supposed to indoctrinate kids into buying Star Wars stuff for the rest of their lives.
Yes. I suppose so. Anyway. Let's see. We've got a bunch of older movies on being released this week.
Yes, we do, Wade.
Here, I'll make a quick mention of Danny Kaye and the Inspector General, which is a public domain Danny Kaye title that has been released probably about 75 times already. And you should ignore most of those. This one comes to us from the good people at Shout Factory, our good friends at Shout, who do not release crap. Let me say that again. Shout does not release crap. So despite the fact that you may have like an Inspector General on your shelf that you bought on eBay for 56 cents or maybe in the dollar bin or maybe brand new for $2 from some terrible transfer, this is the only one you should have. It is a good transfer from good elements, which is saying a lot because it's tough to find good elements for this movie. It was made in 1949. And it also includes a lot of rare home movies taken by director Henry Koster on the set of the film. And his son does a little commentary on that. And then there's also a 1938 short film called Money on Your Life, which stars Danny Kaye. So, this is the one. If you don't have the Inspector General, it's a very funny movie. You should go and get the Shout Factory version and throw away the other ones.
Well, what should you do with The Others, Wade, from 2001? This is...
The Other what?
The Others.
The Other what?
The Others movie.
Oh, the movie The Others.
The movie The Others. This was directed by Alejandro Amenabar, and this is from 2001. And this is a creepy little movie that was pretty much of a hit when it came out right before 9/11. And it stars Nicole Kidman. She's a Catholic mother who lives in this country house in somewhere in the UK after World War II.
Right.
And it's a creepy house, and all sorts of creepy stuff happens, and there's a big twist ending.
I think this movie would have become as big as The Sixth Sense if it had come out before The Sixth Sense. But I think, unfortunately, The Sixth Sense kind of stole a lot of this movie's thunder. And in many respects, it's a better movie than The Sixth Sense.
You know what? I don't buy The Sixth Sense because I'm one of those people who thinks that The Sixth Sense is a house of cards that doesn't work because it depends solely on the director not telling you things that any movie would normally... Like, for instance, why didn't Bruce Willis go buy toilet paper? And he goes up to 7-Eleven to buy a candy bar, and the cashier doesn't recognize him. He goes, excuse me, lady, I want to buy a candy bar. Why are you ignoring me? And then, lady, I want to buy toilet paper. Why? And eventually he realizes that nobody's talking to him because he's dead.
You're absolutely right, but none of us really put that together at the time. So it was something that worked at the time, but we all look back, and I think we kind of feel dirty for having bought into it.
It's just a huge, trick.
Yeah, it is. Well, nonetheless, I do like this movie, and I like Amenabar, even though his last film was a bit of a catastrophe.
Oh, Lego Star Wars?
Exactly. Yes. No, Agora, the big Alexandrian period epic that was released in this country in maybe 3 theaters, even though it cost almost $100 million to make.
Yeah, but I liked The Sea Inside. Did you not like The Sea Inside?
I love The Sea Inside.
That was Amenabar.
Yep.
Good stuff. Not good stuff is Scary Movie 2 and 3. You know, I'm going to say something controversial, which is that these movies, I think...
both on Blu-ray.
Both on Blu-ray. I think these movies, although they are terrible, I think that they are perfectly acceptable if you watch them on cable while you are vacuuming, cooking, and have your eyes closed. Yeah. There are a couple of chuckles to be had. I admit it, but they're just not very good movies overall. Scary Movie 3, here billed as Scary Movie 3.5, features Charlie Sheen, and is directed by David Zucker. And it was a bit of a deal that David Zucker would direct Scary Movie 3 since these movies would not exist without the Zucker influence from Airplane and whatnot. But ultimately, these movies are not really worth owning on Blu-ray because they're not that funny. They're better caught on cable.
Speaking of Zucker, We do have some real, official, genuine Zuckerness this week. The Blu-ray debuts of The Naked Gun and Airplane.
Give me Airplane.
And Airplane is pretty freaking great. It is. I'm going to say this, though, and both of these are being released. It's kind of a comedy trio, the other one being Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the John Hughes film, which I adore. I adore this film.
That's a good movie.
It's a wonderful movie. Every Thanksgiving I watch this. Now I get to watch it on Blu-ray this Thanksgiving. Yay. Yay. Thanks. The only Thanksgiving movie ever really made, apart from Home for the Holidays with
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster directed, and Holly Hunter, and Robert Downey Jr. is the hilarious gay brother. And, of course, Charles Durning is the father who likes to play on his organ.
There are lots of Thanksgiving Day movies.
Well, those are the only two that are worthwhile. Anyway, no, this is absolutely terrific. But all three of them come with these lenticular covers that I think are meant to sort of say, "Hey, it's in 3D." No, not really. Not that it matters. But these are, we should also point out, Best Buy exclusives. So don't go looking for these on Amazon or in, Target or whatever. These are Best Buy exclusives. I'm not a big fan of the whole exclusive thing, which usually is a Walmart or a Target thing. Now it's a Best Buy thing. It's a deal that these guys cut, and you know what? Everybody's got one of those stores near them. You just got to know where to go to get these things, and eventually they'll be available everywhere. But you got to go to Best Buy to get these three, and the special features, not much. There's like group commentaries and all the usual featurettes, stuff that's all been released before. And really the only reason to get these is because the movies look fabulous in high def.
They really do, actually.
They look pretty great.
No, they do. There's the colors are a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's good looking.
The Airplane benefits the least because Airplane was not like a particularly well shot film at the time. It was very, very flat, but it certainly is a nice upgrade. They did a little bit of cleanup, and it works. And it's still a great film. It's a laugh a minute. You still see stuff in every frame that you missed the first time.
I love that.
I've seen this movie like 10 times,
and
I'm still seeing. I'm like, I never noticed that lady was urinating on that guy's head.
Give me.
I never realized that.
Give me.
And then
you're not giving me that, are you?
Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Unky Wade.
Hold your Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
You can have that.
And Naked Gun, I should make mention of, is still very, very funny, although I actually think funnier bits wound up in the TV series, Police Squad.
Oh, I love Police Squad.
That's where all the really funny stuff ended up. The Naked Gun films are not as funny as Police Squad.
Oh,
as
I
the
agree.
Series. Yeah.
Only 6 episodes, whatever it was, of Police Squad, which is
Amazing.
on DVD, and it's the best.
Yeah, totally. And then we also have the complete comedy collection of Ma and Pa Kettle. I know nobody out there other than me cares. I'm the only person that's a big Ma and Pa Kettle fan. This is kind of a big deal because there are 10 of these films, and they have not been released in a complete set before. They were in kind of separate sets. So it's nice that Universal finally said, let's just give it to Wade and make him shut up. So we get all 10 Ma and Pa Kettle films. I still think these things are uproariously funny. I'm the only one. Fine, shoot me. But the Egg and I started the whole thing, and then there's a whole bunch of movies that have Ma and Pa Kettle in the titles, right down to Ma and Pa Kettle at Waikiki, which was the 8th film, and the last two are the Kettles in the Ozarks and the Kettles on Old MacDonald's Farm. So from the Egg and I to Old MacDonald's Farm, all 10 Ma and Pa Kettle movies finally out there. Go get some.
Wade, there's a brand new version of Footloose coming out, and although normally I would say I would just dump all over it, the only thing that is keeping me going in considering this new Footloose, not that I'll see it, is the director, Craig Brewer. Now, Craig Brewer, I don't know if he's taking this as maybe it was an open assignment, Craig Brewer directing Footloose, or whether he thought he could do something with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's the only thing keeping me going is Craig Brewer, because otherwise I would laughingly dismiss it. And, of course, it is the remake of the 1984 original, which is a pretty good movie, directed by Herbert Ross. Herbert Ross
is one of those really interesting directors who made a few good films and a lot of crappy films. But
The Turning Point.
The Turning Point, famous for being one of the biggest Oscar bombs in history. It was nominated for like 10 Oscars or 11, and it didn't win any. It was The Color Purple are like the two biggest Oscar bombs ever. And look, Turning Point's a terrific film. Ages pretty well. Footloose, I was an usher when Footloose was released. I remember it very well. Saw this thing dozens of times. I thought it was lousy. I thought it was the lousiest movie. You could absolutely tell that they went and reshot all that stuff at the end because, it originally tested very poorly. It was like everybody wanted a big number at the end, and it just kind of ended. So all that stuff with those other dancers popping and
all
twisting and all the confetti, all that stuff where you see people dancing who have no business even being in this movie because they just came out of nowhere. It's like, who's he and who are they and where are all these kids coming from? And then suddenly Kevin Bacon is in the mix again. There's like 5 minutes of dancing that's clearly inserted from extra shoots. And it was just so obvious, and it was just so painful. And all that, oh my gosh, the preacher dad, John Lithgow overacting. Nobody's going to dance. And then,
it's fire and brimstone.
Oh my gosh. And then that ridiculous dance number in the warehouse where it's clearly some other actor and not Kevin Bacon.
Awesome.
I just wanted to scream until I saw the trailer for the new Footloose. And then I realized, oh my gosh, the original Footloose is like a masterpiece. It's like a masterpiece by comparison. This new Footloose is the first trailer I have ever seen that bored me. Trailers can't bore you. They're designed to go zing and kapow. It bored me. The music Footloose, the song Footloose, isn't even in the trailer. How do you master that kind of a screw-up?
It's probably being remixed by like Pharrell or some rapper. Anyway, back to this Blu-ray. It is a terrible looking Blu-ray. It really is. It is not good at all. Compression artifacts everywhere.
They just shot it out, didn't they?
No, they really did. Although there are a bunch of special features, which I kind of like. There's 2 audio commentaries, including one by Kevin Bacon. There's a featurette. There's an interview with Sarah Jessica Parker.
There's also that 2-part modern musical thing, which
is,
this is a Broadway musical, by the way, we should point out.
What angers me about this, although I'm going back on what I was saying regarding Craig Brewer, who is a real director. Craig Brewer did Hustle and Flow. I mean,
he's a real guy.
He could maybe bring something to this.
No, he can't.
I don't know whether he did it because it was a big money assignment. He just said, "Screw it, I'll do it," or whether he thought, "I'm going to take a crack at this script. And I'm going to try to make it something."
I guarantee you. Here's the ultimate irony to me, and I'll end on this and move on to another little thing here. I'll bet you that back when Dennis Quaid was doing promo for Dreamscape and saw Footloose, I don't think in his worst nightmares he thought, someday I'll bet I could play the John Lithgow role in a remake of that movie. No, he wasn't thinking that. How sad.
Well, that is very short-sighted of him.
We got a bunch of MGM stuff that's just been skedaddled onto Blu-ray as well in single disc releases. RoboCop 2,
one of the worst sequels ever.
Directed by Irvin Kershner of all people.
Ever. I don't think you understand how bad this film is. And by the way, the score by Leonard Rosenman, one of the worst scores you will ever hear.
Here's the thing that's sad.
RoboCop.
Irvin Kershner. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Terrible score. Irvin Kershner, director of friggin' Empire Strikes Back, just totally lays an egg with this thing.
And The Razor's Edge.
And the screenplay, the story by Frank Miller and screenplay
co-written
by Frank Miller.
Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge. And Frank Miller co-wrote the screenplay and did the story.
The worst of all time.
Now here's the sad thing is that Ed Neumeier and Mike Miner, who wrote the original film, and Ed Neumeier is a UCLA guy, so I have a little connection to him there. We may have mentioned this before. They originally pitched a sequel to the original RoboCop, which the studio just balked at, in which RoboCop dies in the first 5 minutes, and then we flash forward like 100 years or something. And there's this whole resurrected thing, and the world is completely changed. And the studio just said, we can't do that.
Too expensive?
No, they just felt that it was too, you're really going to kill RoboCop and then reinvent the whole world that he's a part of? Like, they wanted the first film all over again. And Neumeier and Miner didn't want to do that. They wanted to do something completely new and different and daring, and they got cursed for it, and the movie stunk because of it. We also have Poltergeist 2, which is meh. No extras on here. It's just a Blu-ray for people who somehow feel the need to relive Poltergeist 1, which is perfectly sufficient. Manhunter and Hannibal have been previously available as part of the Blu-ray Hannibal Lecter. Actually, there's been a number of those little box set collections. You can get them individually now. The original Michael Mann Manhunter, I still think is a terrific film. I think it's much, much better than the horrible version of Red Dragon directed by Brett Ratner, which is just an abomination. This is actually pretty terrific. William Peterson of CSI fame is great in it. So is Kim Greist of Brazil fame. Joan Allen, before anybody knew who she was. And Brian Cox, kill me for saying it, better Hannibal Lecter than Anthony Hopkins.
Really?
Yep. Doesn't ham it up. Speaking of Hannibal, Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore in this horrible, horrible, miserable Ridley Scott-directed movie that is memorable to me only for a ridiculous scene near the end where Anthony Hopkins has the top of Ray Liotta's skull off, and he's cutting off little pieces of his brain and frying them up while Ray Liotta sits there in a lobotomized state. It is ridiculous.
But
not worth it.
Did Anthony Hopkins make Ray Liotta eat his own brains in a Normandy cream mustard sauce?
I don't know. I don't care. Wouldn't have done anything for me. And then Wes Craven's The Last House on the Left, Collector's Edition, unrated. Not that it matters. I think Mark likes this more than I do, but it's for those who care, it's out there on Blu-ray now, and actually rather chocked full of extras, including a very good commentary with Craven and producer Sean Cunningham, and an audio commentary with some of the actors in the film as well. A lot of little featurettes and an interesting deleted scene. I'm not a huge fan of the film, but it's okay, and it's a good Blu-ray. I will give it that. Let's see. We got a few other little doohickeys. Oh, you know what, Mark? You're a giant fan of that, and I'm a giant fan of this. Actually, I'm a fan of that too, but I'm going to also make mention of the 70th anniversary edition of Dumbo from Disney. They have, for my taste, actually cleaned this up a little bit too much. Looks really good. I would have preferred a little bit of the original grain and more muted colors like Dumbo originally was. You don't see the fingerprints on the animation as much as I would like to. Our good friend Ray Green always says he likes to see the fingerprints, but nonetheless, it looks beautiful. It is very colorful. It'll be perfectly fine to introduce the kids to one of the great animated films of all time, and all the extras on here, it'll blow your mind. There actually is a deleted scene and a deleted song that should have been in the movie, frankly. And lots of animated shorts and other stuff. Really a lot of fun. So you'll love it. It's freaking Dumbo. How do you not rave about Dumbo?
I haven't seen Dumbo in years. It's really good.
It's still great.
It totally holds up.
It's just wonderful.
Oh, what's also wonderful, but for a different reason, is the Criterion edition of Carlos. Carlos is the film from Olivier Assayas and Wade. This thing is 339 minutes.
I know, but it's worth every single minute of
it. It is. You know what? Well, here's the thing. It was originally a 3-part French television miniseries, and it was broadcast in 2010, and then it was kind of strung together into one 339-minute U.S. release. And in the film, Edgar Ramirez is just riveting as Carlos the Jackal, who is a terrorist. And
probably the most notorious terrorist of all time.
Totally true. And, and he had achieved notoriety in the mid '70s when he took a whole bunch of fugitives. He took a whole bunch of hostages at an OPEC meeting in Vienna in 1975.
Yeah,
and that sort of put him on the map.
Yep.
And in the film, Assayas does an amazing job charting Carlos's ascent and eventual, of course, descent.
I just think this is so expertly crafted, this movie, and I would say you can't get this in Blu-ray. You got to get the in DVD. You got to get the Blu-ray only for this thing because it's so well shot. And what I love about this, usually when you see films that have to deal with period recreation, even if it's only 1 year, sometimes they let the art direction run away from them, and it's almost like they have to showcase how good they are at getting the cars and the costumes and all the details just so perfect, so period perfect. And Carlos covers a really long range. I mean, this thing goes through the 70s and the 80s, and it just changes periods seamlessly, and you don't even notice it. You just ride it out, and it doesn't flaunt it. And I think this is one of the best art-directed movies I've ever seen in my entire life, simply because it becomes part of the scenery like it's supposed to.
That's true. And I was reading an interview with the director where he was saying how they actually wound up not improvising scenes, but he would tell his camera operator, just follow Ramirez, just follow them. If he might do this, in which case go get that shot, or Ramirez might do this, in which case go get that instead. And so because nothing was particularly blocked out, it gave the film a very electric, realistic, almost docudrama feel. And that's tough to maintain for 5 hours, 5.5 hours, but he does it, and it's just fantastic. So it's a bit of a sit, but the good thing is that since it is based on a 3-part miniseries, you can actually sort of watch this, if you have to, in 3 different parts.
Yes, you can.
In 3 different sittings.
Yeah.
And it's great. Now, the
Wonderful.
Now, the Vienna hostage-taking is over an hour. That's pretty much most of the middle section of the film. And it's totally standalone. You could just watch that and be riveted.
It is riveting cinema. It is riveting cinema. I would say that you could probably do some kind of a crazy. Well, I'll suggest it another time. But
suggest it now, Wade.
I was going to say you could probably do like a crazy double feature, an endless double feature of this with the Vincent Cassel.
Yes, that's
right?
Mayreen.
The 2-part Mayreen film.
That's right.
You could do this and that and probably not leave your house for a week and a half.
I like Carlos better.
Boy,
you love Mayreen.
I love Mayreen.
And they came out at the same time, around the same time.
Yeah, they're both just. I put them together. I don't want to pick one. I don't want. That's like choosing between mom and dad.
Yeah, it's.
I don't want them to get divorced.
Good stuff. Also, of course, it's Criterion. You got a whole bunch of great director-approved special features. There's actually a interview with one of Carlos's associates, which is pretty amazing. A 20-minute making of documentary, all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm telling you guys, go at least rent it, and you will totally dig it. You don't have to watch it in one sitting. I don't blame you if you don't do that because it's long. But it's rewarding.
We have some other great Criterion foreign films to get to before we do some television. We have a couple of Claude Chabrol films on Blu-ray from Criterion, Le Beau Serge and Les Cousins. Chabrol was one of the fathers of the French New Wave, one of the great writers for Cahiers du Cinéma, and he went on to do his own brand of Hitchcockian thrillers, which have become so distinctive that people now kind of identify a Chabrol thriller separate from a Hitchcock thriller. They have a certain style and pace all their own. I think Les Cousins, done in 1959, is actually the better film. Le Beau Serge was done the year before in 1958. Both of them are riveting. Both of them are really cool, very, very slick, and feature some just magnificent black and white photography. Extras are rather extensive in both cases. The best thing here is Claude Chabrol, Mon Premier Film, which is on Le Beau Serge, which is a documentary by Francis Giraud on the making of the film. And it's really interesting. It includes some interviews with Jean-Claude Brialy, who's another one of the legendary figures of the French New Wave. So that's outstanding, both of those. And then The Phantom Carriage, which is a silent Swedish film from 1921 made by Victor Sjöström, who also stars in it. And this is kind of a silent Gothic Swedish ghost film, a little bit like Christmas Carol meets Devil and Daniel Webster. And had a profound influence on Ingmar Bergman, which is elaborated in one of the special features on this Blu-ray, which is called The Bergman Connection, which is a visual essay by Peter Cowie, who's done a lot of commentaries on Criterion DVDs and Blu-rays. And he discusses how and why it influenced Bergman. There's also an audio commentary with historian Casper Tibjerg. Love those Swedish names. They all sound like, like you could use any... Tibjerg! They're all toasts. Right? Skål, Tibjerg!
I'm not bailing you out, Wade.
Okay, never mind.
The bridge was out on the road to comedy.
That's okay. And there's also an interview with Ingmar Bergman from the 1981 documentary Victor Sjöström, A Portrait. Anyway, Sjöström, one of the legendary Swedish directors, and kind of considered the father of modern Swedish cinema in many respects, but absolutely just a terrific Blu-ray. Terrific Blu-ray. And then lastly, we got a DVD and a Blu-ray of Buster Keaton's Go West, along with Battling Butler. This is from original nitrate prints, so it is sparkling on Blu-ray, absolutely gorgeous black and white.
And it's amazing that those nitrate prints didn't
explode.
I
know. Not one of Keaton's best, which is a little bit like saying that
not bailing you out.
Well, they're almost all masterpieces. This is a lesser masterpiece. Let's put it that way.
Oh, look at that!
There we go. And one of the fun extras on here. These are all from Kino, of course. Kino has the full Buster Keaton library, and they do a great job with them. They are progressively putting them all out on Blu-ray. One of the best things on here is in addition to Go West and Battling Butler, is a 60-minute audio recording of Buster Keaton kind of putting together a script proposal for Wagon Train, which is pretty great. So, look, Buster Keaton needs no recommendation from me. You got to get it. If you don't, you're out of your mind.
Wait, you want to know a couple of Blu-rays coming out in the near future?
Yeah, hit me.
Forget it. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Changed my mind. Super 8 coming out on November 22nd. I like Super 8 with reservations.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Includes a digital copy, featurette, deleted scenes. November 22nd. Also, Crazy Stupid Love, which is a flawed movie, but I liked it a lot because I felt like, unlike all the other romantic comedies that that the American studios have been putting out recently, at least Crazy Stupid Love tries to be good.
Right.
It's a bit of an adult film, even though
it's a bit of an adult film.
Oh, you know,
really?
Yeah.
My gosh, I didn't hear that in the reviews.
Well, it is love. That is one of the words of the title. So again, flawed, but you know what? I give it credit for trying. I think you guys should check it out when it comes out on November 1st. Now, this is one Wade will like. Wade on October 4th next week.
Right.
This is what you have to get, Wade. Taped before thousands in Las Vegas.
No kidding.
Bette Midler, The Showgirl Must Go On.
Awesome. By the way, I just requested that today.
Did you really?
I did.
By the way,
yes.
Not that this has anything to do with anything, but here is a musical name.
Yes.
That I bet you have not thought of in 20 years.
Frank Sinatra.
I was worse.
Mel Torme.
You're sort of in that world.
I've met Mel Torme, by the way.
No one cares.
He let me swing on his jowls. It was great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I was visiting my mother, right? And her best friend came over.
Yeah.
Right, two yentas yapping away. And so they have whatever, Time Warner or Comcast, whatever they have.
Yeah.
And they have the radio stations. You know, you can listen to music. They have the music stations on Time Warner.
Right.
And one of them are golden oldies.
Okay.
So, of course, you know, they're of a certain age.
Of course.
And beyond, where that's what they want to listen to. Wait, I have two words for you.
What?
Neil Sedaka.
You know what? I love Neil Sedaka. Do you realize that my iTunes library has heaps of Neil Sedaka in it?
Jesus H.F. Christ.
Heaps. I mean, I'm not kidding. I really have tons of Neil Sedaka in there.
God damn.
Shooby-doo, down, down. Oh, yeah. We love Neil Sedaka.
Oh, God, do I hate you.
Yeah.
Anyway. How do we get on Neil Sedaka?
I have no idea.
Oh, I was going to say that, there is a Barry Manilow gave some congressional testimony recently.
I'm a fan-lo, too, by the way.
When I was a kid...
I know you're thinking Neil Sedaka, Barry Manilow, and you're straight.
No.
I know.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
we're talking between like 10 and 15.
Yes.
I was a huge Barry Manilow fan. I kid you not. Anyway, so he gave some congressional testimony a couple weeks ago, and as he exited, he was interviewed by some on Fox News or C-SPAN, whoever it was. But it was literally just Manilow on the street. We're not talking about fancy lighting. It was just Manilow on the street. He looks horrible.
Really?
Barry Manilow has had so much work. I'm telling you, it is worth it. Even if you don't know who Barry Manilow is, just YouTube Barry Manilow in the last maybe month, 6 weeks, and you will see a man who has had so much bad plastic surgery. It is truly, truly sad. I'm sure he looks fine in Vegas in a darkened theater when you're 30 yards away, but up close in the broad daylight, bad times.
All right. Well, real quickly, I'm going to make mention of the from the Starz Originals series, the Blu-ray release of Spartacus: Gods of the Arena, which is the prequel to Spartacus: Blood and Sand. And this is very sad because this comes only a couple of weeks after the death of Andy Whitfield, the British actor who originally starred in Spartacus: Blood and Sand and had to step away from the series because he came down with cancer, and to fight cancer, he stepped away from the series. So they reinvented the series as a prequel and went to the Gods of the Arena story. And of course, Andy Whitfield, as of 2 weeks ago, was not able to recover from his illness and succumb to cancer. And that makes this a bittersweet release because it's a reminder of how fragile life is. And so it's difficult to kind of watch this with the same enthusiasm. But that being said, it is speaking professionally, it's a good Blu-ray, very, very solid quality. Anchor Bay and Starz have done a great job with it, and there are lots of bonus features on here. So I could do without the 3D battle sequence stuff, which seems rather superfluous, but lots of great audio commentary, some very interesting stuff production-wise. It's a really, really intensely produced show. And most of the bonus features center on how they actually put this thing together, and it's quite impressive. But again, tainted by the death of the man who was originally supposed to have starred in it.
True, true. On a lighter note, we have Season 6 of How I Met Your Mother. This is the CBS show that, when they announced this, I thought it sounds so lame, and we're in Season 6 now. 24 episodes. This, of course, is the one with Jason Segel and Neil Patrick Harris. And, I don't buy it.
Okay.
Everyone loves Modern Family. Modern Family, big show. It just won the Emmy for Best Series. 3-disc set, complete second season. Modern Family, good stuff.
I don't think it's that great, though. I know I'm a naysayer. Shoot me, but whatever.
Maybe I will shoot you.
Okay.
What do you think of that? I'll do the show with someone else.
Fine.
Anyway, it's a boatload of Emmy Awards. Everybody raves about this show. It is really funny. Special features include a bunch of stuff I can't read because I need glasses, although I did watch them. Deleted scenes, a couple featurettes, music video, good stuff. Modern Family. Cleveland Show. Cleveland Show is as you know, I'm a huge fan of Family Guy. In fact, Wade, I'll have you know that as I'm driving to work every day, sitting in traffic, I stream Family Guy episodes on my iPhone.
That's a little obsessive, don't you think?
No, it means that I am actually watching TV instead of driving or paying attention to the road.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Anyway, so the Cleveland Show is part of Seth MacFarlane's complete and utter domination of the Fox animated lineup, other than The Simpsons. And the Cleveland Show has been on for 2 seasons. This is the season 2 DVD we're talking about now. And I'm not a huge fan of this show, I have to say. It's crafty that they would take the African American character and give him his own show and sort of do slight tweaks to the humor. It's not as self-reverential. It's not as pop culture crazy as the other shows. But I just think it's just not as funny. What can I say? Season 2, Cleveland Show, not that into it. Glee, complete second season. This is on Blu-ray. I thought Glee was really cute the first season. Now I'm a little bit over it.
It is kind of starting to wear thin, isn't it?
Also because, you know what? Every time they cover a song, I just hate it. It's so goddamn horrible. They just take these songs and they just, you know what?
Destroy them.
At first it was cute.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. It was cute. You know, nice little take. It's kind of cutesy. But you know what? You're 50 episodes in, and I don't want to hear the all-girls choir version of Don't Stop Believin' or all these great... It's just so lame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, but you know what? At least Carol Burnett got some work out of this. We all love Carol Burnett. And, season 2, good stuff. On Blu-ray. It's a well-shot show, so it looks good. The craziest success story, I think, sitcom-wise on television has to be the enduring popularity of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Which some of our fans really love, by the way.
Yes.
We got a bunch of emails saying we love this show.
Yeah, this started as a bunch of online shorts. It was pretty much like an online spec.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they shot it themselves.
Yep.
Grabbed a camera, shot it themselves, pitched it. Danny DeVito became interested for no other reason than he liked it. He wasn't looking for a cut. He wasn't looking for anything. He just liked the guys. He liked the shorts. He went for it. And 6 seasons later, we have Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 6. This show gets weirder and weirder as it goes along. It is pretty funny, I have to say, from time to time. There's a blooper reel, which is pretty funny, some deleted and extended scenes, audio commentaries on a couple of the episodes, and the new season of Philadelphia is coming. But until then, season 6 of a pretty good show. It's a little bizarre. It's a bizarre show.
And
Supernatural.
Finish
season.
that. Yeah.
Now wait, Supernatural season 6. I just love Supernatural.
Yeah, I know you do.
I just think this show is great.
Has this become like the new? This is we review and seems like a season of this every week. How the hell many episodes of this thing are there?
No, you know what? Because all these.
Or am I confusing this with the Vampire Diaries? They're all the same.
All these CW shows are the same. Supernatural season 6 aired last year. It debuted in 2005. I cannot believe it lasted that long. But then again, it doesn't really take much to be popular on the CW because who cares about the CW?
By the way, you know what I found interesting? If you look at the Nielsen ratings, just for this last week, for example, there are these huge drops in viewership numbers when you get from after 8. Like it's 10 million for the top, at least 10 million, like 20 million for 2.5 Men. And then there's, Dancing with the Stars and a couple others that have like 14 and 16. And then it's all kind of 10 and 11 down through 8, and then it drops. And then there's a couple of Spanish language telenovelas that get like 4 million viewers. But truly, it's like everyone's only watching about 8 shows.
Oh, absolutely. I'll tell you, when I used to work on Later with Greg Kinnear, I was a producer on that show. This is back during the Seinfeld, Must See Thursday heyday.
Yeah.
Literally, we would always get our biggest numbers on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Because NBC was the big the NBC Thursdays was the TV phenomenon of the week.
It was it. All Cheers and Cosby Show. You can go way back on for years and years and years. Friends. Yeah.
But the amazing thing is that we would always get our biggest numbers on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Now, our show aired at 1:35 in the morning.
I remember that.
Now, what does that mean? That means that people turned on Seinfeld at 8 and were so lazy, fat, and stupid that they literally did not turn the channel for like 6 hours. And we would get our biggest ratings on Thursdays. Always.
Amazing.
It was just bizarre.
Well,
but because the thing is that when you're up late, like when your shows are on late like that, your competition is not other shows. Your competition is sleep.
Yep.
So obviously those numbers start to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle, and that's why every 10th of a point is so crucial.
Amazing. Well, we got a few minutes left to knock out a few more classic TV bits here. Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer. You know, we talked some weeks ago about Kiss Me Deadly, the Criterion release of the 1955 Mike Hammer movie. And just 3 short years later, they threw Mike Hammer on television, courtesy of Mickey Spillane himself, with Darren McGavin in the lead. And it only lasted 78 episodes, one less than Star Trek, I should say. But it's still a good show and very well done, very hard-boiled, not high production value necessarily, even by standards of the day. It feels a little bit set-bound, but you know what? It's still a good show, well written, and a nice. I think it's better than the Stacy Keach thing that came out many years later in the '80s. We also have Kojak season 2. Telly Savalas, Who Loves You, Baby.
Come on. I used to love Kojak.
Get you some Kojak.
Get your Kojak on?
Get your Kojak on. This is season 2, and you know what? It's just, the show really dates very well, I got to tell you.
It does not.
It does.
It's dreadful.
It just feels really cool, and it's all because of Telly Savalas. He's just such a great television presence, and you know me, I love 70s cop shows. I really do. It's whether it's Kojak, Manic, Starsky and Hutch.
I liked Streets of San Francisco.
Streets of San Francisco. Even the one with that murderer. What was it called? Robert Blake.
Oh, Beretta.
Thank you. I'm feeding one to you. Oh my gosh!
Barnaby Jones. Can you imagine nowadays?
Oh, I love that too. And Hawaii 5-0. How do we leave that out? Better than the new version.
Can you imagine giving a primetime show like that to like an 85-year-old man?
That wouldn't happen today.
It was that, and it was Angela Lansbury's Murder, She Wrote, which was on CBS, which at the time was a very older skewing network.
Along with Matlock. Anyway, we also have 3 CSIs. Oh my gosh, this just doesn't end. This is the 9th season of CSI Miami, the 11th season of the original CSI, and the 7th season of CSI New York. All of which I have to say to people, come on, how much CSI do you really need? How much Law & Order and CSI can you stomach? It's unbelievable. It's all the freaking same. It's just in a different city, all this stuff. And even with Law & Order, it's all in the same city. And I like Law & Order, but enough already.
You realize that they have Law & Order UK.
I know.
It started in 2009.
I know.
That is
and Law & Order Los Angeles, which didn't last at all. We talked about that last week.
That is Dick Wolf. That guy.
Oh, my gosh. I mean,
the only
stuff that keeps this stuff going are the actors. I got to say, Gary Sinise is terrific, even if this thing, the CSI New York gets old. But the extras on here, not fabulous. And look, it's all designed basically around the, people who just love the show. Everything else is just featurettes and extended scenes and whatnot. And, there it is. And with that, we're going to wrap this up with a reminder that we are giving away Mark's showing me. Next week. Next week. Yeah.
Okay. I take that back. I don't care.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this up. Remember, we're giving away 2 of those Craig Ferguson DVDs. So send us emails to gods@digigods.com with Ferguson in the subject, Ferguson. Don't spell it funny or anything, because it all gets filtered according to spelling. Just Ferguson, and just include your name and your address, and 2 of you will be the lucky winners as long as you get us your emails timed and date stamped before October 1st. And with that, we will be back next week with more fantastic Blu-rays and DVDs. This is Wade and Mark.
Goodbye.